Hello, everybody. I am Vaiva, and I'm here today to talk with you about Telia's experience with partnering with Avaos in order to have an innovative solution for our very complex use case. So who am I and why you should be interested in listening to me? So I'm Vaiva, head of CPS Analytics IT Lithuania, and have a role here at Telia to lead the team of data engineers as well as being a solution owner for MarTech stack in the organization. I briefly tell you about my experience, how I ended up at Telia, and why my full professional life experience would be of an interest sharing the resolution of the problem we had at Telia. So I have quite extensive experience in the various market areas, and telecoms is one of the last ones. Prior to that, I've been working in consultancy agency, then entering the retail supermarket industry as well as banking sector. And my experience over there were shared in different data areas. So I started as the analyst and was focusing on analytics mainly for around 4 years from my professional life. Then I moved on to the reporting part, like how to represent those results from analytics to our business stakeholders. Afterwards, I decided that reporting can be shaped into the advanced analytics and move to that part of the data area. Moving forward, the bits that were still under question for me were related to data engineering and data warehousing. Then the last 3 years, I've been focusing on business intelligence and reporting part, as well as now at Telia, I am leading the data engineering and MarTech team. So we usually in this market search for the people who can be experienced in the full end-to-end data journey. So in order to be able to find the best candidates for that position, I decided to share my professional path to build up on those skill sets myself. On that angle, let me move on to the purpose of this presentation. And what I want to tell you is to tell the short story how we, Telia and Avaos together, tackled the complex business case for Telia, business to resolve. Let me start with the agenda of the session. So I will briefly explain about our ambition back in 2021 from the business stakeholder. Then I will tell you what was the reality at Telia and what we had before entering into the resolution to achieve that ambition. Next, I will briefly explain what needs we had knowing the ambition and reality. I will then tell you about the solution we come up with, and then the results we've been able to celebrate at the end of 2022. And I will summarize with a quick executive summary of the presentation. So where we started at the end of 2022 or beginning of 2021, we as the organization, well, basically business as the organization decided that we want to become customer-centric and customer-facing telecommunication company in Lithuania, focusing on the best experience for the customers in the omnichannel market. Approaching our customers in the most personalized way ever. We also wanted to be reaching out to our customers in a timely manner, so react on their actions straight away in order to fulfill their needs, as well as to keep them in our organization. So that was the challenge and the ambition that we wanted to go to, and what we had at the beginning of 2021 before we entered that stream. So we had low digital maturity. We were just at the baby steps in investigating this area in general in the organization. We also have very fragmented MarTech stack in the company. So we had various tools in the various areas of the organization with a distributed ownership and no joint operational model related to MarTech stack. And we also had loads of source system transformations and mobility business transformation in the organization, impacting most of the areas in the company that was data related. So having this in mind, We also had not only internal challenge, but external challenge to solve. Our market is very competitive, and other telecommunication agencies are reacting quite fast to fulfill their customer needs. So we had to be quick. We also had talent pool challenge because MarTech is not very experienced area or a mature area in Lithuania. So there are only a few specialists in the market in general that we could approach in order to fulfill our ambition. We also had no experience organization-wise how to set up this kind of strategy and MarTech stack in the company. And we have very long hiring experience and process in the organization. So having this challenge, we knew that we will need to resolve two problems. One would be strategic, how to overcome the challenges I've just mentioned. And another one was technology, like how to hire the most experienced people and from where in order to be able to deliver fast on the solution that we were building. Let me start with the strategic one. So as mentioned, we needed specialized skill set, very specialized equipment, because we knew what systems we will be using as the guidance from the Telia company organization. We also had a specific timeline where we would want to go live in order to compete with our competitors in the market. And we also had a very specific needs from the business organization. So having these requirements in mind, we decided that we will definitely be going outsourcing way and will not be striving to insource the people, as that will take quite a lot of time. And after that, it was clear that we will be reaching out and starting the process of interviewing our possible third-party vendors. Having this decision been made, we all in the organization had different experience with working with vendors before, and we all had the dilemma like how to overcome some most popular pains dealing with the third-party vendors. I will share some of my concerns. You may think and reflect if those are familiar to you as well. So first one is how to find the best partner in order to deliver on the solution. Another one, how to ensure that the vendor we will be working with together has the experience with the tools that we as the company has chosen. We also needed and had the specific requirement how to overcome the challenge of vendor not being too big or too small in order to have the team that is experienced enough, but also that has some common values and rules so that you don't need to spend too much time in working on forming the team phase quite a lot. Another one was the challenge that how we will ensure that those people who will step in have enough access rights and we are controlling those in all ways that our security is guiding us. Fifth one is how to ensure with that vendorship that we will be keeping the people that we are starting with at the project and ensuring the engagement from the team members as they're delivering to the final goal. Sixth one is the dilemma, how then, if we are going with a vendor and upskilling our people internally, how to transfer the knowledge in a most efficient and productive way, as well as if our business will change the requirements, how to ensure that that flexibility resembles in the mindset of our partner from the external organization. The other one that is also very important is how to form the team that despite of cultural time zone differences will align and work together once again to achieve the same goal. And fifth one, we also had the restriction of the budget. So that's always the dialogue with the vendors so that we have the win-win situation moving forward. So having this dilemma in place, we decided that we definitely need a partner who would be flexible, would have the mindset that we are in this together, and who would propose together with us the solution how to achieve our goals during the year. So what we've started during the interviews, we entered the interviews with the vendors with a quite open and strict message that from a start, we are forming a strong partnership. So even during the interviewing process, we wanted our partners to come up with some creative and innovative solutions. We also expressed our need that we need professionals and experienced advisors in the market. So people that we will be hiring to our organization will have a few years of experience working with the tools that we as the company has chosen. We also expressed the need that we need direction based on the best practices. So once again, this very much relates with the experience and maturity from partners to come. And our business is fresh in this industry and area. So they may come with loads of questions, different directions. So flexibility is the key. And fixed budget. Once again, efficiency in using it smart would be one of the strongest requirements also. After a few sessions with various of vendors, finally, we come up with a partner, and we agreed together with the VAUS that we will be forming the phased agreement. So we will start with the investigation part of the project first. Then we will have regular things during that phase to identify if we are keeping the right direction and everything is working fluently. Maybe we need to reshuffle something. Maybe we need to include more senior people in the exercise and then adjust according to the learnings. Then we've decided that we will start with the fixed team, but we will be open with the whole project team, that if we see the need that we currently need some other expertise, we will be able to reshuffle the team allocation, taking the hours from one competence area and moving those to the most needed ones. And we also agreed that if we work together, we need to celebrate together. So what we really liked within conversation with VAUS, that we were able to come up with an incentivized discount so that we're getting a higher discount from VAUS, but then VAUS has the possibility to earn that back if we are achieving our targets at the end of the year. That boosted team's motivation a lot, as well as increased the feeling that we are not having the vendor-client relationship, but we are in this as partners together. On the technology part, as I said, we not only had the strategic challenge, but also had no idea how these tools may be used in the most efficient way so that we are delivering sustainable solution, but also fulfilling our business needs in a timely way. So we needed the partner who should guide us through technology side. And VAUS came up with a very smart technology solution that we will be, first of all, maximizing the use of the tool that we chosen as the main component in the organization, which was Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Then we will build up the skeleton, the base, and then scale up other use cases upon that. At the same time, and not separately, which was also very important, we will be looking into measuring the business impact from the start for each use case so that we can prioritize those cases based on the business value they will generate. And we will be looking into the exercise in the way that if we see the opportunity to optimize while we are building and automate something, we will do that from the scratch, selling that this is really beneficial for the business in the long run. What we've also got from VAUS, we've got the experts that had not only telco experience, majority of them, but they were also familiar with the relevant MarTech stack and experience. And they were present in the various different roles in the Martech journey previously in their professional life. So they had not only wide business experience and competence experience, but also deep knowledge in the areas where they were experts and operating as experts. So having this combination all together, at the end of 2022, we were able to celebrate quite huge success. And let me remind you once again, at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, we had 0 Salesforce Marketing Cloud journeys in Lithuanian. We had 0 MarTech tools implemented in the organization. We didn't have CRM team established. And after mainly 1.5 years of hard work and 1 year in the partnership together with Avaus, we've been able to deliver 15 Salesforce Marketing Cloud journeys. We've implemented 2 MarTech tools, new tools, which were considered as best practices in the market. And we established CRM operational model. And that led to huge business outcomes. We had increased online service revenue. We had higher share of all online service revenue in 2022. We've increased our conversion rate, and we reduced customer calling to our call centers. So our employees at customer call centers had lower income calls. And they could reclassify in other areas on the organization. That was a great achievement that we've celebrated in the organization together with Avaus, and was one of the greatest examples how partnering and not having the mindset client vendor helped to achieve great results. So to summarize, what I wanted to tell to you is that if you have the ambition, don't be afraid to innovate, even it's at the beginning is completely green area for you and you know nothing. Accept the idea that you are not alone in this, and you can reach out for the help. There are plenty of experienced and senior people that may be your partner in crime achieving that ambition. Have a vision, and that vision should be fixed and your North Star that you are aiming to reach, and then treat Agile as the mindset framework and not the process in order to achieve that vision. What I wanted to say here is that don't limit yourself with the Agile ceremonies if this is not the right way to implement at the current state of your project in order to reach the ambition, and be flexible that whenever the time comes, you can revisit that framework and then start your journey with this high expertise. And on that area, I mean mindset and skill set wise. And then you can definitely later on in the process onboard junior people and upskill your organization in the area you want to win the market. So this is it from my side. And thank you all for listening.